Good evening and welcome to Correro, the big conversation where we discuss matters and analyze issues. My name is Godwin Sunday, and tonight we will be looking at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, assessing it from a socio-political angle, and try to also look at some of the impact of its policies as it affects the everyday Nigeria. Well, I'm being joined by a public affairs analyst who will be helping us to do all of this. We'll take a short break right now, but we'll return. We'll dive into the conversation. Please stay with us as Correro continues immediately after this break.
Correro, your front row seat to the most pressing issues, from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on RapidTV.
And you're welcome back. Well, over the years, the issues around government implementing some of its programs, agendas, and policy, even enshrined in its manifesto, has become a very crucial issue to handle. Now, looking at the Fourth Republic, we've been able to have a government in-house that have given policy programs and also agendas that largely depict what they want to achieve. But a lot of this administration ended up not delivering what they promised. As Nigerian who placed the word, they failed. But then, just in a few days from today, we'll be looking at Democracy Day, which was moved by President Buhari in recognition of the MKO Abiola who won the June 12th election. And of course, in order to commemorate that day, the former president, President of Buhari Muhammadu, moved the date to June 12th in order to celebrate the heroes of that day. Now, while we're looking at that day, we'll take also a closer look at the generality of our elections and also the generality of manifestos, programs of government, especially as it affects the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. And joining me in the studio to have this conversation is Timidayo Kinghart Oladele, who is a public affairs analyst and also a political analyst, and he'll be helping us put all of these issues in perspective tonight. First, let me welcome you, Timidayo Kinghart Oladele, to Correro. It's a delight to have you. Good evening.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, let's begin the conversation by first looking at Democracy Day in itself from 1999 till date. A lot of Nigerians will say that they don't have a reason to even talk about the date, even talking about celebrating the date. From your own perspective, is the day worth celebrating?
Thank you very much for the question, and I will start this way. For anybody, you see a new day, you have opportunity to do something new. You can achieve something that probably you didn't achieve in the past. In a new day, it is worth celebration. Now, in the case of Nigeria, a lot of the reason why people will say what they say is because we have this vision in our mind where we want to go. And probably we have not reached that stage yet. Now, as a nation, Nigeria, one of the most complex nations on the surface of the earth, diversity, languages, culture, custom, for us to be together today, it is worth celebrating, because that is the essence of the democracy we practice. It is for the people. And so we, the people, living together And I do not want us to look at some of the challenges we are facing as the reason why we will look down on some of the wins that we've had over the years.
But we can't define democracy without even looking at the challenges. But then, since you've taken us to that part of talking about defining what democracy is, Abraham Lincoln, with his popular definition of democracy, defined it as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Narrowing down that conversation to Nigeria and looking at the 3 tiers of government, can we say that they represent the government of the people, by the people, and for the people? And again, this is to even ask, is it worth celebrating if we look at the 3 tiers of government right now?
All right, thank you also for this question. This does not require a yes or no answer. But I'll say largely, the setup of democracy in Nigeria is representative in nature. You see, I will cite an instance of probably very powerful politicians in the past that tried, to attain certain positions, and until the people decided that, look, we will support you with all the might, all the popularity within certain regions, they could not achieve it. For instance, the late President Muhammadu Buhari, he tried as many times as possible to become the president of the country, right? And within his own region, a lot of people, he has a cult-like followership. But until he reaches out, I just want to use that to emphasize the importance of the people. Because when you say people, people is not just a location, it's the entirety of the country. So when the people decided, by consensus, by agreement, by undertaking, by commission or omission, that, look, you are there, we are here, let's put the people behind you, you will get it. That is number one. Number two is that we know people who in this country have held very serious positions and they have gone to the poll and they failed. Some of them, even in the leading party as of the time, it means that the voices of the matter of the people really matter. So at the end of the day, most of the people that you see, that is why I say largely, most of the people you see in the National Assembly or even in elective position, executive, whatever it is, are people that were put forward by the people and the masses.
Mr. Tinubu'S, let me interrupt you at this point.
Okay.
By first even looking at the whole, you're talking about the Vox Populi, Vox Dei, which in mass communication will say the voice of the people is the voice of God. Yes. In this instance. But then, a political scientist will say that when a politician comes out to declare his intention, he's openly saying he wants to enter into a social contract with the people. Yes. Where the people will in turn surrender their will to a Leviathan, who will in turn direct policies, framework within the state. Now, looking at all of these angles and narrowing it back to Nigeria, if this is supposed to be the bane or the light of democracy, is this what we're practicing today?
Okay, so let me define democracy in a way, so that it will shed light on this question, because you mentioned a very powerful word, Leviathan. Okay, a government of the people, by the people, for the people. But something is missing. There is a decision that needed to be taken for the people. When you say policy at Leviathan, sometimes we need to be a bit balanced. I'll tell you what, you are a family man, I assume. I am. You have a family of an extended people. If you happen to be the head of that family, you can tell how difficult it is to manage the expectations of people. Is that correct? Now look at the complexity of this country as a nation. Do you know that the sentiment differs? What people in the north will say is good governance is different to what people in the southwest would assume is good governance. So that confusion can make anyone to look at some of the policies and actions of government as if it is stifling. Let me say it again. For a long time, and I don't intend to hold brief for this government right now. For a long time, Nigeria was living in deceit. Very serious deceit. When we say our development is going this way, GDP is going this way, if you have a GDP at a level and you are borrowing to hedge the GDP, that is falsehood of a first-class falsehood. I don't know if you understand. So any leader that would lead the people to development, because it is not just to sing democracy, it is what are you doing with the democracy. We can have a democracy of mediocrity. I hope you know that, where we just have what we call palliative government. You know, people come, you shared money, little here, little there, and you are popular because people don't understand what the democracy is supposed to even have as an output. Discipline and certain very tough decisions must be taken. As a father of a household, sometimes it's not what the children want that you give. I don't know if you get it. So for us to be able to gauge, how do you define that a government is Leviathan? Because let me say something here, and I don't intend to offend the sensibility of Nigerians, okay? Nigerians happen to be one of the people that hardly want to change what they believe in, all right? Let me give an example. In the past, look at this studio, shining, looking good. When you are done with the studio and you're packing up for the day, what do? You turn off the light. A lot of the time, in the past, you tell Nigerians and say, look, this light, this surrounding light within your house, as you are going out in the daytime, you don't need it, turn it off. Nigerians will tell you, are you the one buying the... I don't know if you get it. There is a level of discipline, and this is what I just cited now, cut across so many sectors and sections of our lives. Discipline. When a government is disciplined, you are likely to say the government is Leviathan. But to take this country from the rubbles to where we want to go, a lot of us have been saying it. We need somebody with iron hand. What does iron hand mean? Well, thank you very much.
You're taking us even outside the scope, because you know, we talk about all of this.
Yes.
It also boils down to political culture,
okay,
which has a few components,
yes,
like the cognitive orientation, the
yes,
affective orientation,
of course,
the evaluative orientation,
of course,
and what have you. But those are elementary. Let's not even dwell there. Let's move away from that and return back to the base for the conversation. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is right now occupying the seat of the presidency. How would you rate his performance when it has to do with governance and reforms?
Are you ready for the answer?
Yeah. Let's get you react to this.
Sincerely, I will rate the government 75 over 100.
How did you arrive at this figure?
Thank you very much. I cited an example earlier. A country needed a few things to develop. You can either be a popular president or a leader who really want to lead the people to development. This government has 75 because of the following reasons. Number one, when this government came into power, the first thing it did was to yank off the issue of subsidy. And I know that this is something that raises nerves, but it was one of the first sign that this government is heading somewhere. The first. All of us, including everybody that is not on the side of this president, have said it, that subsidy has come to its end. It has become cancerous, and we need to end it. Every single one of the people that are running against the president now believe that we need to take it out. So that subsidy, let me tell you why it was important. Not because they just have to remove it. First, we were borrowing massively to hedge the subsidy. Even as of then, you hardly have the fuel, you have adulteration, scarcity queues, and all of that. And yet, you are going in serious debt just to sustain such level of incompetence. Number two, look at the issue of the dollars. The dollars was a racket. How can a country has close to 6 or 7 different exchange rates? Which one is foreign direct investment is going to look at? You say there's no job, there are no companies. How will anybody bring his business into an economy that is confused? Because that was what we had. I hope you understand it now. Thirdly, I want you to look at some of the programs of the president. And these programs speak to his mind. I'm not talking about what appraiser people want to give on the surface. A president that is building roads. A lot of Nigerians don't understand that road is one of the most economic infrastructure anybody can delve into. Right now, this government is building over 440 roads across the country.
But all of these things you've said so far,
yes,
they have not been able to translate into real impact for ordinary Nigerians.
Let me ask you.
Because a lot of Nigerians right now will tell you that they are not feeling the impact of governance.
Of course.
You want to shed light, how does this trickle down to the average Nigerian right now that is even watching you on the screen?
Okay, thank you for that, because I was expecting that. All right, so I'll ask you a question, please, before I go in. The horse or the cat, which one pulls one?
Well, let's go by the horse.
Okay, the horse pulls the cat.
Yeah, let's go by the horse.
Okay. You see, you do not build a house on faulty foundation. You do not build an economy that is based on rent, where people get low income jobs, no future. I don't know if you understand it. Shaky GDP, falsified. Look at the capital markets. Look at all sort of things. Now, there is only one thing that we must be mindful of, is that as of the time this government was coming in, this government knew that it need to repair the foundation, because it is not government that gives job. I need you to note this. It is the economy itself, productivity itself, the activities that constitute the GDP that gives the job. And I'm not talking about MSMEs or SMEs or micros. I'm talking about the pullers of the money. Look at it now. Nigeria does not, one of our currencies is not dollars. But today, dollar control a lot of our economy before this government came. Dollar has relatively been stable. Now, in the lives of the average Nigerians, okay, they want, let me cite it this way. Nigerians are not lazy people. They want to work, right? They want stable power. They want water supply. They want telecommunication. They want all of this. Now, who are the people that brings in the money? Is it government that will continue to augment them? Now, if you don't stabilize your government, if you don't stabilize your policies, if you don't stabilize your programs and projects, nobody will bring the money. We have been running around in circle for a long time. After a while, look at the, let me just
you're failing to also add to the fact that the APC government, you always say before the president, you're forgetting that 8 years to this time,
yes,
we were also enjoying the privileges and policies.
Your question was specific for President Tinubu.
I'm coming because you're taking me back to even down the memory lane.
Yes.
Of before now the foundation was faulty.
Yes, of course.
And of course the APC government, we will say, brought us where we are right now.
Yes.
So an APC government is trying to correct it, just to put it in perspective right now. But then you're talking about the stock market. You're talking about all of the economic indices.
Yes.
Now, it sounds fantastic, but looking at the poverty ratio of Nigeria, going by the World Bank index, and also going by the corruption index, and going by all of the narrative that is being even put out there about Nigeria, are you saying, in essence, that all of the policies by the government, by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even in his first term, is trickling down to revive the average Nigerian that is living below $1 per day? Of course, we are still ranking even below poverty ratio or poverty rate. Of course, you agree with me on that. Let me get you quickly react to this.
The reason why I use the analogy of the horse and the cat earlier is because macro economy drives micro economy. We need to settle that. You see, the people, a lot of people just want to do basic businesses. They may not understand, the sophistication of how these things are maintained. You talk about poverty rate. The endemic nature of poverty cannot be excused by anybody. I cannot make excuse for that. However, even though the APC government was one of the governments, and I want to correct you quickly, the situation we met ourselves today did not start with the APC government. We need to get that right. You know, we may have some level of fairness as of then. The economy of the world was not static up to today. What it was in either 2010, 2012, elsewhere is not the same thing now. So the world is moving. So that when you want to use certain parameters to measure performance, you must be careful. It's just like when you want to use the dollars. Okay? During the time of Jonathan, we know the reason why we were there. Today, we know why we're here. Okay? During the time of Jonathan, we have multiple exchange rates. All right? So, like I said, macroeconomic controls how people will be able to get job. Who creates the job? The markets. Who creates the job? Production. Who creates the job? Productivity. The economic activities is what. So if there is no confidence, because look at it, when they say liquidity, it means the movement of money here and there. I just want to simplify it. It means the movement of money here and there. Now, where is the money when we were almost sub-zero when this government was coming in? And I want to state here that yes, it was from one APC government, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not holding brief right now for APC government. Maybe in the future I would, all right? But when you have something that you believe that this thing was messy, and then another government came in and said, okay, look, we need to be realistic with ourselves, and let us take certain steps to correct it. Look at the dollar's exchange rate for the past 4 months, or 5 months, or 6 months. It has been, you know, a bit stable. Is that correct? Which means, look at some of the people that left Nigeria. For instance, you know about Shell leaving Nigeria. Are they back or not? They're coming in with $20 billion investment. Okay, so let me run that up.
We have a lot of things to discuss. But let's not dwell too much on the economic, because I think we're going too deep even in that conversation.
Okay, all right.
So let's move away from the economy.
Okay.
And try to also look at the political space. Of course, it's democracy.
Of course.
And one of the beauty of democracy is the ability to be able to elect your representative into various offices. Democracy in Nigeria right now tend to be standing even on one leg.
By what standard?
Statistics shows that almost all not too popular political parties are having internal rifts, wrangling, and internal cracks. Again, when we talk about Democracy Day, and we're having all of this internal wrangling and internal cracks, is it worth celebrating if we as a nation are yet to even understand what political parties should represent? We've moved from having 3 political parties in 1999. Right now we're having about 21 political parties in the year 2026. At the point in this country, we have about 91 political parties that contested for election. But then let's even narrow it down and looking at this. When we talk about a country where anybody can cross carpet from party A to party B, are we ripe for democracy?
Very much so, we are, of course. You see, the idea of perfection would deny people the ability to have the moments. We cannot be perfect than the people that brought democracy to us. I want to believe you know what is going on in the UK today, all right? The Labour, Conservative, and their internal wrangling. You see, okay, let me say opposing wrangling and then also internal wrangling. The UK Prime Minister had a lot of his aide and lieutenant resigning recently. See, that we have democracy does not mean we are humans. Anywhere humans are gathered, there must be conflict, but there must also be conflict management. You know, there's this thing people always cite, that, look, why is it that the president always have his way? Sometimes they call people rubber stamp. You know, when people mature to a level that they know how to resolve their problems, to come to a consensus, we give it a name, because a lot of people in the opposing side does not have that. Look at the situation now. People will still vote. Democracy will still thrive. It's not going anywhere. All right. With the internal wrangling, they will still present themselves.
Even though we are drifting towards a one-party state.
At whose fault?
Well, I don't know. You're talking about democracy. We are drifting towards a one-party state.
Democracy is for the people, right now. It's by the people, right?
Well, with internal wrangling.
APC is just one party.
APC is just one. The PDP is having a fair share of its own internal divide.
Okay.
Of course, the Labour Party, the Aburi faction, and of course the Nadi Usman faction, and the other factions, Apapa faction. There are 4 factions within the Labour Party. Then also the ADC is enjoying its own fair share right now, waiting for the court to take a stand. The NDC right now has just been introduced to the scenario within the court space.
Yes.
Now, all of this internal wrangling is tilting Nigeria towards a one-party state.
That is not correct.
Okay, help me to understand if we are not already there.
That is not correct. You see, a party may not be popular. It doesn't mean that it's insignificant.
I was coming because you know when you talk about the Accord, you talk about the ZLP, and a few of course I know you are aware that a group of persons known as the former House of Representatives, House of Assembly members have taken the ZLP, Accord Party, and a few others to court for them to be deregistered by INEC, even from their portal, because they failed, according to them, they failed to meet certain criteria.
Yes.
Now, this again is pushing us towards a one-party agenda. With all of this narrative, is democracy worth celebrating in Nigeria?
Yes, again, I would emphasize it is worth celebrating. Let me tell you, there is always a learning process, even when you are at the peak, because the peak is not static. Is continuous. So when you arrive at the peak, you are still there is still activities, you are still running things. I don't know if you understand it now. So there must always be internal wrangling, there must be conflict, there must be, people will have dissent and variant opinion. That does not invalidate that process. So democracy is what I need to say. Let me even go all out and say it, is that the emphasis is more to the people on the opposing side. APC seem to be able to hold its own together. So they should do the same. And let me say this again.
When you say, you recall that not 2 political parties already target APC as a reason for their challenge.
And that is a full paradise kind of imagination. I need you to understand this.
Please go ahead.
A man cannot manage his own. To a bad worker, every tool is wrong. I hope you've heard that before. There is someone that would take over some of these parties and will manage it very well. They need to look inward. If they don't know about politics, I think they should borrow leave from some of the people that have been able to sustain theirs. Because, at the initial stage, we had the problem in ADC, and then we had a lot of noise. The president is doing this. Like I said, right now, I may tomorrow, but right now I'm not holding brief for the president. But, this is common sense. 5 senses can look at it, and then you can interpret it with the 6th and say, okay, they had a problem when they were trying to form the coalition. The coalition, in the first instance, is a marriage of people who are strange to themselves. We need to understand that politics itself is a game of interest, and now you are having people who are coming from different background, different interests, sentiments coming together suddenly. There is no proper arrangement. Look at the takeover of the ADC. I always tell people, I say, if not for politics' sake, the way they took over the ADC was against everything in the book. You can't come and one person will hand over a party to you. Where is it done? And when people rose up from that party and say, look, this is not well done, and took the case they say, no, everybody. So what they want, let me say what they want. They just want people to come in, out, no matter how messy it is, they should not go to court, they should not raise the objection about how it is done. So you can see the pretense, you can see the hypocrisy. And I'm telling you this one, because I know that no matter how great I am outside, if I have internal wrangling in my party, okay, and I cannot handle it, the first sign of irresponsibility is for me to blame somebody. The first, I will exhaust everything that is possible to hold my party together. How can you want to when I was in the introduction, I talk about the diversity of this country. Just a party you cannot handle, and you want to handle the problem of Nigeria. You are not even coming to come and relax. You are coming to solve problems, complex problems. So this has nothing to do with the APC.
Well, let's not target to the APC.
Okay.
But then, let's look at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration again.
Okay.
Going by all of the indices that makes up a government. A lot of Nigerians, even on social media right now, are saying that the president has failed, and as such, he should not even think of coming back to contest for a second term or campaign for a second term. When you look at all of the policies being put in place by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in your own assessment and judgment, are Nigerians correct to say, from security through to the economic metrics, down to the policy framework and the corruption index, which Nigeria finds itself right now, are they correct to say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not been a performer when it has to do with policies implementation?
Okay, let me give you a name. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a game changer. And please permit me to explain it. Okay. You mentioned indexes. So let's look at a few things. Right now, the projection for Nigeria's growth was around 3.5 GDP, right? Today we are on 4.23. Today, our foreign reserve is $50 billion. Today, from 32 or 33 or 34.3 or 6% of inflation, it is 15.69. Today, our capital market is 160 trillion. It's just a matter of time before all of these begin to reflect. Let me now go a bit complex into some of the activities it's doing. Let's start with fiscal policy. The shutting down of the multiple forex is the reason why you see the capital market, because we have people investing massively in the Nigeria. Just like, you know, let's leave all these high-level languages. You here, sometimes probably you have some money and you want to invest. You look at economies of the world where you can put your money in the capital market. Why? Confidence. So for that kind of, do you know what our capital market value was in 2023? Do you know what it is? It was a bit around 43 trillion. Today it is 160 trillion. Let me ask you, where did the money come from? From people who have confidence in this government. Look at the issue of Dangote. Dangote came in before this government, right? But it was struggling. This government came in and said, look, we'll make it work. Do you know the number of people only Dangote recruits?
But take it to the corruption index and also the insecurity.
I would mention. I will get there. I will get there.
Please,
I will get there because
time is of excellence.
Okay, so now look at the indexes for insecurity. There's something, you know, there are areas where it is not easy to explain to people. You know, when you cut a hand, you feel it hot. Definitely, nobody can blame you. People are agitated, you know, because of the kidnapping that happened recently. But let me tell you something. Do you know, I told somebody and we had a very serious argument. I said, do you know that the insecurity is stylishly going away, but people will not notice? Let me tell you something. There is no road, before this government settled down into power, there's no road in Nigeria, where kidnapping was not happening. I want to ask you, a lot of the places where people pass, when last did
who said it has not stopped? Who said it has stopped?
See,
I have it on good authority. Of course, Lalong came out. The Solomon Lalong, who was the former Minister of Youth and Sports, came out to speak out about roads, even in Plateau State.
Okay,
that's on.
Let me give you.
I want to give you instances across the north.
Go ahead.
Perhaps you've not travelled. So when you say it has stopped, or it is gradually.
No, I never said it has stopped.
It is gradually phasing out.
Yes, I stand on that.
So when we look at it, are you saying authoritatively that it has stopped, it is phasing out? How did you arrive at that conclusion?
Good. I need you to understand this, please, and I need you to give me just 2 minutes to explain it. Good. When you want to fight a war, if it's a direct war, theater, you have the enemy on the other side, it is easy to fight. Ideological warfare that has the backing of religion and also is tripping into the war of attrition is very delicate to fight. The moment they discover that you block everything, they go all out for what they are doing now. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think the people who did the Ibadan kidnapping become photographers and videographers all of a sudden, sending items everywhere? They tried to capture the Kwara State. The government moved a whole formation of military there and they could not pass. They tried in Kebbi. If you know how many fronts the military are fighting right now, where those people used to hold, we were seeing the videos. You see them gathered as if they are celebrating or in the stadium. When last did you see it? You just see a pocket of them. Like I said again, a lot of these people, we know them, that some of them crossed the border from the northern part into the country. When the heat was on, they begin to, because you mentioned something, you say in the north. That is the emphasis I'm trying to make. Before this government took certain decisions, a lot down south, they were occupying everywhere. There's hardly a road. I'm saying it again, and I believe you can corroborate it, maybe for the sake of argument, yeah? That you can hardly, one day, not hear that somebody is kidnapped. Is it Benin? Axis, is it Port Harcourt? Is it, where do you want to mention? But when last did you hear that? Now, the case of Plateau, let me say it again. The respected former minister is right concerning the issue they have on Plateau. I schooled in Plateau. You understand? I spent 7 years in Plateau, and all the years I was in Plateau, there was conflict. Not a single, let's say, a single quarter, there was no conflict. The issue of Plateau must be addressed differently. It's not the same. I need you to understand that this insecurity are not exactly the same.
You're saying that Benue and Plateau should be addressed differently?
Yes,
because not central.
Because
it tends to be a recurring thing within the North Central.
Exactly.
So so if it's not addressed differently right now and tying it to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, security-wise, we can say that the president has failed. No, we cannot say that the president has failed because he's doing everything possible. You talk about Benue now. After the case of Yelwater, you know, there's something about it. They're silent. So don't let me. No. From Ado to Vandekia and the other part of Benue, they are still silent. Communal clashes and also realistically, can you close your eyes and open it and expect that a guerrilla warfare will be gone? Realistically. Because sometimes, you see, when you see a government, let me tell you one thing that is missing. Anyone all over the world, let me say it again, the United States is still fighting internal battles. If you go to places like Chicago, they have the highest gunfights. I don't know if you understand it now. They have their own internal fight. Reason is this, because all of this, and judging, going by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's celebrating democracy. One thing that I want to tell you. One thing that I want to tell you. Let's tie it. What is missing right now? Let me say it again. Please, what is missing right now? Just one thing, is the fact that when you see a leader that takes certain decisions that begin to mitigate this thing little by little, you need the people's support is the most important ingredient of that fight to come to an end. So did you see what happened in Oyo State? To buttress it. Yes. In Oyo State, the people, when the kidnapping was done, they started with a shout because normally it's expected. People will be hungry. Why are our people being kidnapped? But it turned around against those people. What they intended, like I told you, they turned photographer because they want to create sensation and scandal. But look at the Oyo State people now. They are the one. They form themselves into groups and say we will not allow it. They begin to look for this. But it's 27 days after, and they've not been discovered. They will. They will. From the first day, I believe that the government. I'm just giving you the days. So in case you've lost count. I understand that. In case you've lost count, and of course that number of days will still be attributed to President Bola. No, we all know the numbers of days. And judging by the Democracy Day, again, a lot of Nigerians. I'm asking, are they right to say that he has failed? 27 days gone. And nothing, we've not heard from the kidnappers, we've not heard from the pupil that have been rescued, and of course we've heard that a teacher was beheaded in that old saga, which is very sad. Yes, but then it's not just in Oyo State. This it also played out in various parts of the north. Just Oyo decided to speak out loud. We've had similar incidents in Kwara State. Kwara people were a bit downtoned with it. Kogi State have enjoyed a fair share of it until it got to Yelwater in Benue State. It has been like a reoccurring thing in Benue until Yelwater. But you conveniently forgot that recently close to 400 people were released from Borno State. That's 300. We need to be balanced. No, I'm not against the President Bola. That means efforts. Let's tie this up to the Democracy Day in itself, and also looking at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's scorecard for a Democracy Day. It brings us back to the first question I asked.
Yes.
Is it worth celebrating? Should Nigerians rejoice that there is a democracy day? Should they go out in the to the street en masse to even carry excitement on their faces?
Okay.
That we are practicing democracy. Looking at all of these indices that we've tried to, of course, you've decided not to talk about the corruption index, which is still fair. But then looking at all of the statistics and what we have right now, should Nigerians celebrate Democracy Day in practice?
So I will say it
and
again,
in reality.
I will say it again for the third time. Maybe this time around you let the question rest. Yes.
In the face of insecurity.
Yes, you are here.
In the face of corruption index. Skyrocketing. In the face of poverty becoming the order of the day.
Okay.
In the face of, I'm curious.
Okay.
You are the analyst.
Yes.
And of course you're more even informed in some of this stuff than those of us that are journalists that just tend to gather pockets of information.
Yes.
But you are on the field. Help us understand why Nigerians should even celebrate this day.
Okay.
If at all it is worth celebrating.
Okay, so maybe I will just speak directly to the Nigerian people.
Please go ahead.
My emphasis will be that Rome was not built in a day. And anything that is going to worth anything in the future must be done in certain ways. The similarity of those ways are here today. We cannot wish away our past because what we experience today came because of our past. But today we have the opportunity to look at it critically, not sensation. You know, a lot of people that want to win election, all right, sensationalize the people. And I tell you what, the elite of this country understand the programs of this government. Except, of course, those people whose doors were shut by the subsidy racketeering, by the dollar racketeering. Except, of course, those people, and they are very powerful and very, very rich people. They can cause a lot of scandal. Except those people, the elite understand that you can't build, if you've ever built a company, can you build a house without counting the cost, without sweating it out, without tearing some veins? It is not possible.
So we are practicing an egalitarian system right now. the government of the elite.
No. I said what I meant by that. I said
elitism.
No. I said the elite understand the government of the people, but because of interest.
So it's an aristocratic government.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you want to put some words into my mouth.
No, I'm asking.
No.
You say it is the government of the elite by the elite and for the elite.
This is democracy. And this is democracy, and it will continue to be democracy.
The government of the elite.
The government of the people.
For the elite.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Please go ahead.
The road from Lagos to Calabar is only the elite that will ride on it. The student loan, I guess it is the elite students.
No, that a lot of Nigerians don't ply that route. A lot of elites don't ply that route.
Even Badagry Sokoto, they will not ply it.
You can do your own research.
Yes, a lot of people don't ply.
They belong to the...
So the government is doing it for the people, not the elite. I understand that the people you are talking about are the elite, that you say they don't ply that road. So the masses and government is investing massively. Look at the Lagos. Does it look like a main Lagos Calabar road? Does it look like a main project to you? It's for the comfort and the economy of the people. Let me even cite that Lagos Calabar and Badagry Sokoto road. Do you know that road is opening up millions of opportunity for jobs? Because only that road connects almost all the ports in this country. Do you understand the import of that?
Tinubu'S King Heart or Ladili.
Yes, my brother.
You said you're not holding brief for Mr. President.
Yes, I am not.
You said for now.
For now, yes.
You can't say for the future.
For now.
Because for now, we're seeing that you're already holding brief.
But I think it's a game changer, and I will emphasize that.
You are holding brief for the President right now.
No.
But what Rapid TV can do is to just send a voucher to the presidency. That
you can do that.
Tinubu'S King Heart or Ladili came
to the studio and then
to defend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu'S and give him a pass mark, even because 75% is not an average score.
Yes.
Giving him 75 means is a pass mark. That's an A grade.
Yes.
So you're saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be rated an A student when it has to do with his
with every confidence,
socio-political impact.
Yes, with every confidence.
But let's take that to be your thoughts. Of course, Nigerians will definitely react on our various social media handle right now, been showing on your screen. Well, this is how far we can go on Correro. I want to say again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Timida, your King Heart Oladile for finding out time to do this with us.
For having me.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go tonight. Don't forget, you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comment, you can leave your suggestion on our social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. To enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.